Hey guys, John Davids here with Influicity. We've got some great questions to cover today. Audience metrics, engaging influencers in unique ways, and what the heck happened to Vine? This is hashtag Ask Influicity. All right, Vine was a big story. It happened, I guess, a couple weeks ago now. Vine was something that came up really big a couple years ago, and a lot of influencers came on board and started experimenting with the very short video format. And then it kind of just faded and eventually faded into oblivion. Twitter announced that they were cutting off the service entirely over the next few months. And a lot of Vine stars were really taken off guard. Now, fortunately, a lot of the smart ones created social media audiences across other platforms, so they're not going to go anywhere. But what really happened to Vine? If we investigate, kind of look at the landscape, I think two things led to Vine's demise. First of all, after being acquired by Twitter, they really were an afterthought. They weren't given autonomy. The platform wasn't operated as its own separate app. It was really buried within Twitter, and then all the trouble that happened to Twitter just, bled into Vine, and it didn't have a chance to really save itself and experiment and become the savior. In many ways, what Instagram did for Facebook, Vine never managed to do for Twitter. The second problem, I think, is that Vine, from an innovation standpoint, just didn't keep up with mobile mechanics. So the way people use their mobile phones, the way Snapchat came along and invented vertical video, the way Instagram came out with different filters and ways to enrich your video and your photo content, Vine really stayed static. They didn't launch new features. I certainly didn't hear about it, and I read a lot of the trade news. And so I think in the end, something else will come along. A lot of the Vine influencers will find something else to do. It's too bad, though. It's a tale of something coming up and then fading away very quickly. How can I tell the audience data of an influencer? Audience metrics and influencer metrics are two very different things. For example, an influencer could be 25 years old, female, and Cincinnati, but her audience might live in Vancouver and be mostly males. And so you've really got to dive in a little deeper to the data to figure out where they're from. A good example is Instagram. On Instagram, there are geotags for the photos that the influencer posts. And most influencers will geotag a good deal of their photos. They also will hashtag with things like LGA or LAX, indicating the airport that they're at on a particular day. Now, if you look at their followers and their geotags, they could be all over the map, literally. And so now there are platforms that will do this. This is something Influicity does for all of our clients. You can dig into audience metrics versus influencer metrics. But as a marketer, be very cognizant and ask the question of the influencer, hey, I know what you are and I know what your interests are, but what is your audience all about? And you might be surprised by the results. What are some unique ways to engage an influencer? There are so many things you can do with an influencer aside from just sending them a product and having them talk about it on their YouTube or Facebook page. We had a movie studio client of ours that invited 50 influencers out to a movie premiere where the movie stars and the paparazzi got to mingle, and these influencers picked up a lot of social media cred along with the traditional exposure that the brand got as well. We see CPG brands inviting influencers out to retail stores to talk about where their products are sold and how you can buy them and how you can use them. We see influencers doing page takeovers. We see ambassador programs and communities being built around influencers. So I would suggest being creative and really leveraging the spectrum of what an influencer can do for you. Thanks so much, guys. Make sure you follow us across social media at Influicity. You can follow me at Jonathan Davids as well, John Davids on Instagram. And of course, tweet your questions with the hashtag AskInfluicity. You might be on the next episode. See you next time.